Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. Well, we saw last week a little bit of what might be happening around here. We had some announcements from the NXT Sheriff as well, and we're all heading in to that final episode of NXT in this universe. What's that? In this series of universe in 2 weeks' time. We already know some things seem to be going on. We already know that there's going to be a title match, and it seems as if there's going to be another title match added as well. After what we've seen regarding two parties over the last 2 weeks. I'll get into that. Well, actually, we'll get into that to start the show, because as you can see right there, the NXT champion Tyler Bate wants to respond to the Velveteen Dream. Perhaps respond to the attack from Dream 2 weeks ago and what Dream had to say last week here on NXT. That is how we're going to kick off the show, by hearing from one champion, which I think is going to be a strong start to the show nonetheless. And we're going to end it with a woman who could be 2 weeks away from becoming a champion once again in action. What a main event we are in for here tonight. Kairi Sane versus Toni Storm. Last time these two women met, it was an exceptional match, ruined by the arrival of Trifecta. Could the very same happen here tonight? We will find out, but Kairi Sane, of course, in 2 weeks' time will face Tessa Blanchard for the NXT Women's Championship. Will she be able to beat her then? And more importantly for the now, can she beat Toni Storm tonight? We'll find out what a main event that is going to be, but let's kick things off from the top by hearing from Tyler Bate. And there he is, the NXT champion, heading towards the ring a little bit more solemn than usual. Usually Bate is fired up, he's ready, he's gearing up this crowd. He's a bit of a hype man in his own right, but there is none of that from Tyler Bate, as we can see right now. He's looking at the crowd during the Hammerstein Ballroom. He is appreciating them all who are here, but Tyler Bate has something else about him right now. He just seems to be, I think he is very much so focused, or maybe for lack of a better term, he's been taken off the beacon path by what Velveteen Dream has done over these last few weeks. And there you see Bate opening up by saying that he wished his start as NXT champion could go greater than this. Sadly, it has not. It feels as if Bate hasn't even had a moment to relax, to appreciate what he's got, to appreciate who's supporting him. And that is now because of one man. And for quite the surprise, of course, it is not Corin. Corin isn't here to make Tyler Bate's life a living hell or NXT. As a matter of fact, he hasn't been seen since Brooklyn. But it's another man who's full of himself. It's another man whose ego soars to the moon. It is the Velveteen Dream. And Bate knows firsthand how that feels like. So Tyler Bate continues on here, saying to the Velveteen Dream, does he feel like a big man for jumping Bate from behind? Does he feel like a big man for all that he's done, for all the trash that he has talked about Bate as well? You may be undefeated, but you are not the NXT champion. Tyler Bate is, and if you want it, come and get it. And Tyler Bate, in closing, says to Velveteen Dream, you're sick of waiting around? You're sick of wanting that chance handed to you? You want to be NXT champion? Well, then what do you say we do it? The last NXT of this series. Tyler Bate, Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship. If you got the balls, Velveteen, Tyler Bate will end your dream. And that is the champion putting out the challenge to Velveteen Dream. Tyler Bate wants Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship now. Dream may well have got his wish, but it's against a Tyler Bate who's fired up, who's motivated, and who wants to beat the Velveteen Dream. Alright, well, what an interesting way to start things off on NXT then. Wow, he wants to face him. Bate wants to face Velveteen Dream in 2 weeks' time. And I guess all that we're waiting for is confirmation of it. And I would imagine we're going to hear it probably sooner rather than later. That is to come at a later date, though. As for right now, we focus on this matchup here. Mike Kanellis going to go one-on-one against the New Day's Big E. Now then, a little bit of story time to talk about, because some intriguing things have gone down the last few weeks here in NXT. Of course, we all remember the arrival of the Machine Brian Cage. Took out Big Show, took out Big Cass. Remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, he took out Xavier Woods, attacked him backstage, laid him out with Weapon X in the parking lot. And that was taken very, very personally by the New Day's Big E, his friend. He was very much so opposed to what happened. He was angered by it. After it was all done and dusted, Big E wanted to fight Brian Cage right there and then. He wanted to ditch the match and just fight Cage right at that moment. He wasn't allowed to. He was told he was going to have to wait. And I think I know how long he's going to be waiting for. Nevertheless, Big E here in singles action against Mike Kanellis. And I wonder how this will go for this man, former ECW champion along with Kanellis, but a man who, as much as he may strut to the ring right now, is all about business. You know, in the back of his head, there is one thing lingering there, and that is what happened. What happened to Xavier Woods and what he wants to do to the Machine Brian Cage. Cage will be in action here tonight, and I wonder if Big E will jump on the opportunity, if he'll go right after him here tonight, or if he'll save it for another day. Big E and Brian Cage in the same arena, same building, same time. Something could break out before the end of this evening. We will find out though, but as for right now, Big E gonna square up against Mike Kanellis here. And let's see how this one will go. Oh my goodness. Shoulder tackle there from Big E to get things going. Mike's wife Maria at ringside. Might see what kind of difference she can make in this one. But as for right now, things are looking pretty good for Big E. Oh, maybe not. Counter there from Mike Kanellis. Able to push him away. Look at this now. Russian leg sweep there from Kanellis. But he can't get anything more than that. Big E in with a harsh counter. And a belly to belly as well. Just exercising his strength there. Big E hoped for a strike there. Got countered with a forearm in the face. And is back. Certainly been a much better time for the New Day since coming down to NXT. There's no doubt about it. Title shot at TakeOver Brooklyn. And now Big E and Xavier Woods. Well, Big E, more importantly, getting fired up now and getting personal with someone in Brian Cage and decimating right now Mike Kanellis. Maria trying to get involved here, trying to distract Big E to the best of her ability to get her husband back in this one. Big E just shouting in her face, not interested in anything like that. Reverse DDT though for Mike Kanellis. And Big E goes down. Attacking the arm there, trying to take away the strength factor maybe from Big E, make it harder for him to slam Mike Kanellis. Is a smart tactic. There's no doubt about that one. What else are we going to see here from Mike Kanellis now? Lifts him up onto one knee, clubbering blow in the back there, but again Big E just powering his way out of it. Missed with that big boot, but I don't think he has to be too concerned because Big E can just come back with quick offense right away. Big E now. Oh, this is going to hurt you, Mike Kanellis. Power bomb on its way. No, Mike Kanellis able to fight his way out of that one there. Oh, and he's able to counter again. Neck breaker. And Big E goes down. I think this is Mike Kanellis trying to avenge for what happened. What? I think it was 2 weeks ago again. No, 3 weeks ago, with the debut of Andrade Cien Almas to this universe, and how quickly he disposed of Mike Kanellis. Mike Kanellis definitely going to be wanting to avenge that. Maria getting involved again here. Shouting in the face there is Big E in response and goes right after Mike Kanellis with no concern about waiting, no concern about Kanellis maybe getting the jump on him there, just right back on the offense, and things aren't looking good for the former ECW champion. T-bone suplex, cover major by Big E, but forcing his way out of it early is Mike Kanellis. Oh, but I don't think he'll be forcing his way out of this one. Big E in. The big ending connects. And I would imagine that is all. Nope. That is not all she wrote, because Maria has decided to grab the pen and make sure this match goes on a little bit longer. How much of a good idea is that, in all honesty? Mike Kanellis now looks to be on the receiving end of a grade A beatdown, courtesy of Big E, unless he can hit a big move in the next few moments. Counter there. Went for a running something or other. Got stopped and run down as well by Big E to make matters worse for him. And speaking of running, Big E getting a full head of steam before that huge splash. And are you kidding? Oh! The referee saw the steel chair in the ring and has taken action. Maria Kanellis out of this one. Thrown out here courtesy of the ref. Oh, that is what I wanted to see, in all honesty. Maria gone. Referee not interested in anything like that. And Big E interested in simply ending it. Big ending to Kanellis. Cover made. Ref into count. There's 2. There's 3. Big E wins it here. Mike Kanellis defeated. And maybe a chilling message sent to Brian Cage with it. Big E taking care of business just how he wanted to. As he oh, he's not celebrating his win at all. He wants to keep this going. He wants to keep it going right now. Oh, sweet Jesus. Big E has a table. He went under the ring and he grabbed that table, and Mike Kanellis is going to be the recipient of whatever the hell it is that Big E has in store. You know what this is. This is Big E taking note of what Brian Cage has done. This is Big E sending his message to the machine Brian Cage. Cage has put people through tables. Now Big E wants to do the same. And Big E will do the same. Belly to belly through the table. Mike Kanellis set for a ride through the table. Big E had one thing in mind. And it was that end game. That message being sent. The machine Brian Cage. You have just been sent your warning, courtesy of Big E. My goodness. Big E definitely sending a message back to Brian Cage, using his own games against him there. Well, poor Mike Kanellis, but nevertheless we have to move on here on NXT to our next contest of the evening. And here it is, Hideo Itami going to go one-on-one against a man who we saw make his debut a few weeks ago, the same night as Andrade. No, it wasn't the same night as Andrade Sane, unless it was the week before. And that man was Elias, the Drifter. Don't know anything about this guy still. I will say that right now. Absolutely no knowledge of this guy. Just a little bit, I don't want to say weird. He's just a little bit off the beacon path, I guess would be a better way of saying it. He's not your traditional superstar. He's not your normal wrestler. He's a guy who very much has done his best job to keep himself for himself. He's off the radar. He keeps himself distant from everything else, but at the same time relies upon that guitar of his. That is where his soul, his passion comes from. And within this ring, as we saw a few weeks ago in Titus O'Neil, I believe it was, when he made his debut, he could take care of business pretty damn well. And he did just that as well. That drift away neck breaker certainly doing a fine job of ending the match. And now here he is tonight to continue that, this time with a match against Hideo Itami. Elias heads towards the ring for this one. Amazing how many new debuts we've seen on NXT as of late. You think about the plethora of talent that have arrived. Brian Cage, who has certainly made the biggest impact, I would say, out of the newest debuts so far. Elias, Andrade Cien Almas, Juice Robinson, Io Shirai. Man, NXT has stocked itself up with talents, there's no doubt about it. There are some great names already on here who can look to be stars in the future. You know, look at them. Tyler Bate, of course. Velveteen Dream. Pete Dunne. Leo Rush. And that's just a few being named right there. There are probably more. And as much as I hate to admit it, I think one of those more could very well be Corin. If ever he decides to make it, if ever he decides to rear his head around here, to make an appearance on NXT again. I don't know if we'll see that or not, but we'll find out at a later date. As for right now, Hideo Itami and Elias one-on-one here. Attempted knee there from Elias, misguided. And Hideo Itami going to make him pay for it. Regal plex there. That man. And Elias hitting hard into the mat there. Itami coming out with purpose, coming out with KUSHIDA at ringside as well, his tag team partner. Itami and KUSHIDA recently formed. No success yet as a tag team, but the idea is that KUSHIDA sees the talent in Hideo Itami, but Itami, of course, is a very, I guess for lack of a better term, he's a guy who demands respect. He comes into this ring and he hurts people because he wants them to respect him. He wants them to look up to him. But the reality of the situation is that doesn't pan out the way Itami wants it to, and KUSHIDA is aware of that as well. Big knee in the face there to Hideo Itami. And while Itami, the one who made his way down from the main roster to NXT, there is no doubt that KUSHIDA is looking to make a name for himself here in NXT and then work himself up to the main roster. And I think there's no doubt about it that the time splitter could certainly do that. But how much can he teach Hideo Itami? Can he bring Hideo Itami back up to the main stage with him? Cover made here by Itami, kick out early on by Elias, who's definitely got a tougher challenge going on right now in Hideo Itami, who is proving difficult for the Drifter to deal with in this current moment, but using his size advantage there to bring him down with that backbreaker. Itami able to pull himself up to his feet, but he's up against the ropes here and things aren't looking too good for him. What's Elias going to do here? Oh! That could have given him, that was almost a whiplash effect there for Hideo Itami. It's a passenger in all of that. And Elias now starting to beat this man down as KUSHIDA can only watch on at ringside. Big time slam coming into play there. How much more does Elias have to give here? Forearm in the back from Elias now. Rolling cutter after it. And the Drifter may very well feel like he might be one move away from victory. Held his hands up there as Itami was recovering. But that may have just been for pomp and circumstance. Or Itami fighting back here. Single leg Boston Crab to the larger Elias right now. Trying to target those legs, and Elias simply not interested, pushing him back. Separating himself as well, making distance. Oh my goodness. What a running knee there from Elias. And Elias now going to look to end this. There's the neck breaker that he calls drift away. Covers Itami. And he's done for. Elias wins again. There you have it. Another victory for Elias. And a job well done for him at that. The Drifter with a very, I guess, mute celebration as the job is done here over Hideo Itami. Itami was trying, but you cannot study a guy like Elias because we've only seen him in action, well, now twice. And outside of that, we know nothing about him. That drift away neck breaker certainly doing the job right now, and Elias certainly making the most of it to become a very relevant name here in NXT. Not a bad start for him so far. Another person who became a relevant name in NXT upon their arrival was Andrade Cien Almas 3 weeks ago. Now here tonight on behalf of Andrade, his manager Zelina Vega will be speaking here. And I wonder what Vega is going to discuss up next. Well, here she is, heading towards the ring. Like I said, she's certainly done her best to make an impact for Andrade Cien Almas since making their debuts. Zelina always stood by his side, and now we wait to see what Zelina Vega will do here. Definitely not a positive reaction for her right now, and I'm not surprised with that, given how egotistical Andrade has been since his arrival, and it's mostly because of that woman there who's bigging up her talent right now, saying how great Andrade's debut was and how everyone was in awe of the talent of El Idolo. And that is because of the work of Zelina Vega. Vega turned him into the star that you already see from him. And Zelina Vega knows that this brand simply ain't enough for Andrade. And following up from that, what she means is that he is on a ticket, a fast ticket, straight up to the big leagues, because he is finer than any talent around here on NXT, and he can prove that, because he doesn't even need time to prepare for a match. He just goes out there and wins. And there is one way that Zelina Vega and Andrade want to prove it. Since everyone wants to talk about such a such an event like the last NXT of this series, then why doesn't Zelina Vega show off her client's abilities? Why don't we see what Andrade can do when he hasn't got any time to prepare? So this goes out to anyone in NXT. Andrade Cien Almas has an open challenge on that last episode. We'll see you there. Well. There you have it. Andrade Cien Almas will be at the last episode of NXT in this series of Universe, which is October the something. And he's going to be having an open challenge. Vega certainly feeling confident about Almas. Well, that'll be interesting. Glad to see that Andrade Cien Almas feels like putting his money where his mouth is, or rather where Zelina Vega's mouth is. And that is going to be very interesting on the last episode of NXT for this series. October 3rd, I believe it is. Or no, October 4th, my apologies, is when we will have that last episode of NXT for 2K18. Before we move on, of course, to the next series of Universe following No Way Out. That'll be all a very, very interesting evening of action to pay attention to. And I wonder who will want to show up and try and defeat Andrade Cien Almas. There's a great list of talents who it could be, and I think it could be this man. In all honesty, you might want to step up to the plate. Tomohiro Ishii. I don't think we've seen this man since TakeOver Brooklyn. And if we have since then, well, I think he lost because I don't really remember it. Nevertheless, Ishii back in action here. Of course, he was pinned at TakeOver in that Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Global Championship. Pete Dunne held on to that title. And that was a very, very thrilling contest that we saw between those sides. And Ishii wants to get back in the win column, but he has to try and do that over a man who has been in the win column for the last little while in James Storm. Storm came down to NXT after SummerSlam, I believe. Yes. And so far he has acclaimed victories over Darren Young, and there is one more who I'm blanking on right now. And I think that one was 2 weeks ago when he got that. I wish I could remember off the top of my head who it was. I seem to have forgotten. Maybe it was Titus O'Neil, now that I think about it. Might have been. But this is effectively his first real challenge since arriving down to NXT. And what a challenge it is for the Cowboy as well in Tomohiro Ishii. If Storm wants to prove that he belongs, he deserves to go right back up to the top of Monday Night Raw, well, he's going to have to do something to prove that in this matchup. He's going to have to prove that he deserves that idea of going right back up there by beating Tomohiro Ishii here tonight. The Stone Pitbull, of course, is an absolute brute within this ring, an absolute machine in his own right. But you see the size advantage, of course, that James Storm has, which pretty much everyone has over Ishii. But I think weight advantage does go to Ishii. He's about 250. Storm, not that much less, though. I think he's about 240. And the Cowboy there, look at that. Retreating Ishii back up to the ropes just second after Ishii did the same to him. After the clean break, oh, Ishii is going to get cheap-shotted by James Storm, and the Cowboy misses with the lariat, and Ishii's going to make him pay. You know that's true. Running power slam from Tomohiro Ishii. So he's a treat seeing the Stone Pitbull in action, I gotta be honest. But let's see what'll happen right now. Storm with a counter in the turnbuckle. Nice. Great bit of work there by Storm. The speed to hit that and the power to go with it. Doesn't matter if he weighs less than Ishii. You've got to possess great power to be able to pull off something like that no matter your weight. Especially with the speed that Storm used to hit it as well. Let's see what he'll do now. Suplex incoming, I believe. No, floats over into a neck breaker. Great move there. Made notable, I believe, by the Phenomenal One AJ Styles, who will be fighting at Fastlane, hopefully, tomorrow night for the NXT Championship. Sorry, not for the NXT Championship, for the Intercontinental Championship. Do not want to miss Fastlane. James Storm right now. Series of strikes to Ishii, and you can tell how much of an effect they had on the Stone Pitbull. Uh-oh. Gonna suplex him back in the ring here. Yes, he is. Look at how vertical that suplex is. Held him right up. And Storm gonna try and get him back here, rolling up Ishii, and doesn't even get more than a 1 count. Wow, look at the counters here that Ishii is bringing out. Or not even just the counters, just the ability to move faster than Storm. His ability to just... It's like he knows what Storm is going to go for, and then he's able to just maneuver around it with ease. Elbow right at the top of the spine there. That might have been on the neck, even. Storm again, tries for a lariat, gets countered, but able to counter Ishii back and hit a reverse DDT of his own there. Is this where the Cowboy starts to try and shut down the offense here? Is this where he starts to try and take control of Tomohiro Ishii? You can hit that head all you want. I don't think it's going to have much of a difference to this matchup, in all honesty. Let's see what Storm's going to do now. Picking him up. Has the leg. Dragon screw to Ishii. And he holds on to it as well. And pulling it back there. Oh, that is a rough bit of impact. But James Storm keeps on going here. Let's see what else this man has up his sleeve. Not much more, because Ishii counters him. Hard forearm, and here comes some more on their way. Ishii now, off the ropes. Running, Western Lariat from the Stone Pitbull, and he's only one move away from being back in the win columns and handing James Storm his first loss during NXT. And here it comes. Up in the air. Vertical drop. Brainbuster from Tomohiro Ishii. Chalk this one up as finished. 1, 2, and... Oh no! Storm kicked out at 2. Oh, that has not made Tomohiro Ishii a happy camper at all. Look, you see the eagerness and just the speed in which he picked up James Storm, and he's now pummeling away on the Cowboy once again. Yeah. Oh, maybe you made a mistake, Storm. Maybe you should have tapped out, because Ishii is now starting to wail on you, starting to beat you down here, and James Storm is essentially a passenger to everything going on. Cover made now by Ishii. Will that flurry of offense be enough to end it? No, there's still a kick out. Well, give credit where it's due to James Storm. I thought he was out of it after that first brainbuster, certainly proving otherwise. Making Ishii's chance at victory here very difficult indeed. Oh no, James Storm might have been taking backstabber there. Ishii weren't interested, countered him there. But James Storm countering him back. Starting to trade blows here. Other pair of big time lariat from Storm. But how much more does he have to give in this matchup? Been a very competitive match thus far. Ishii might have been hoping that he went a different route, but I think this will be the one to end it. Western Lariat connected after the flurry of forearms. I don't even think he needs the brainbuster. Ishii feels the same. In for the cover, and it will do it. Tomohiro Ishii just needed one more flurry, and Storm was done for. And there was that flurry. Back in the win column for Ishii. And the first loss since making his way to NXT for the Cowboy James Storm. Ishii, your winner. Happy days indeed for the Stone Pitbull. It might not avenge that loss at TakeOver, but certainly he would be very happy to have a win nonetheless. James Storm said, he looked good in defeat. To an extent, his resiliency was there, but the offense itself wasn't really. More needs to be done there from Storm to really challenge Ishii. While that was a competitive match, I don't think the next one's going to be, though, in all honesty. Coming up next, Darren Young's final match in this universe, going one-on-one against the Machine, Brian Cage. R.I.P. Darren Young. Well, as we said, this is going to be his last match in this universe, and it is not the nicest way to go out, in all honesty. Oh, here he is. Here he is indeed. The Machine making another appearance. And you think of the path of destruction he has left so far in his way. Like I said earlier, Big Show, Big Cass, Xavier Woods. Those are 3 already. 2 of them are done for permanently. Xavier Woods will be back in about 6 weeks' time, was the report given from the Sheriff Stone Cold Steve Austin last time out. And that is all because of that man right there. And you better believe he feels no guilt about any of it. There is nothing within Brian Cage that makes him feel guilty for his actions. He does not possess guilt. I think what he may have taken eye of was what we saw earlier on tonight with Big E, with what he did, putting Mike Kanellis through that table. And I feel sorry for Darren Young, but I think he is about to be the response. Here we go. This match is underway, and there's a running shoulder tackle from Cage right off the bat. Darren Young can do whatever he can hope and try for to go out with his head held high, but I don't think that will be anything, if I'm being honest with you. I think we're in for a grade A beatdown here to end it all for Darren Young. So much for leaving with your head held high. You will be lucky to leave with your head attached to your shoulders as it currently looks. Brian Cage, response or not, has already amassed a significant beatdown here on Darren Young. Yes, it's only a few moves, but it's still enough to put a man away simply because it is this man doing all the damage up in the air right now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at the showing off, essentially. Suplex down. Oh, this isn't going to end well for him at all, is it? This is... Oh, discus lariat countered there by Darren Young. There may still be a chance. There may still be a chance for Darren Young in his final match to do something. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, yep, double never mind. This one's over. Darren Young's career is over. It was nice having you. Enjoy whatever you're going to do in the future. Weapon X will end it. 1, 2, 3. Brian Cage wins. He keeps it subtle. He keeps it compact. But he keeps it destructive at that. There is your winner. The Machine with another win. And oh, if Big E wanted to do it earlier, Brian Cage will do it now. And Cage is most certainly doing his best to send that message. Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Pay attention, Big E, because he's got this up his sleeves for you. Cage once again. Weapon X to Darren Young. Therein ends the career of Darren Young. And Brian Cage will be very happy if another name is added onto that list. Oh man, the machine is loose. Weapon X has truly been unleashed. And if Big E wants a fight with this man, is he ready for it? We'll find out maybe very, very soon. Let's move on to our main event of the evening though. Kairi Sane and Toni Storm. Whoa, this is going to be great. Well, let's do it then. Let's do it with this huge main event. The women main eventing NXT once more. It's always a great sight to see. And what a match we are going to be seeing with it. Kairi Sane and Toni Storm. Oh man, we're getting spoilt for choice here. As Kairi Sane heads towards the ring. The Pirate Princess 2 weeks away from what could very well be her final match for the NXT Championship for a good period of time. Sane has spent the summer trying to reclaim that title, doing everything in her power to reclaim that title, and ultimately proving unsuccessful. Sane was, along with Tessa Blanchard, one of the final two at TakeOver Brooklyn in that Women's Elimination Chamber match, and she couldn't get it. Now she has one more opportunity granted to her as she faces Tessa Blanchard. No chamber, no trifecta, no women of NXT. It is just Tessa Blanchard and Kairi Sane. However, that could all change if Toni Storm wins here tonight. And does she have the potential to? Absolutely. Will she? Well, I don't know, is the honest truth. This is a match that can easily go either way, and that is what makes this match so thrilling to witness. The fact that it could go either way just adds to the intrigue. And if Storm does win, what does this mean for her heading into that match? Does she find herself being added to it? Does she find herself next in line? What will be the tactic taken from the NXT Sheriff and the NXT General Manager regarding it? I can speculate all I want, but only they'll have the answer. But that is, of course, all an if. If Storm beats Sane here tonight. Last time, of course, they squared off, as I said. It ended in DQ, ended in no contest, rather, through the involvement of hang on, I forgot, I blanked. Sorry, through Trifecta's Jazzy Gabbert, then the NXT Women's Champion. Trifecta still hold the belts, of course. This time it is held by Tessa Blanchard, who Sane fights in 2 weeks. What a bout it is going to be between those two women, but what a bout we are in for here tonight. Sane and Storm locking up here. Hopefully this time around we'll get a definitive winner. NXT's been knocking it out of the park with these main events the last few weeks. 2 weeks ago it was... 2 weeks ago it was Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Last week it was Tyler Bate and Lio Rush. Week before that, 3 weeks ago it was Charlotte and Tessa Blanchard. They've just been on a roll in terms of great main events, and we're getting another one added to the list right now between Toni Storm and Kairi Sane. We're calling level tight between the two to get things going, but Kairi Sane now starting to go to work. Lovely back suplex there. Let's see what Sane can exercise here. What can she get going out of herself? She needs a big win here tonight to prepare herself for that match, but she definitely doesn't want to get herself too hurt. Toni Storm may well have respect for Kairi Sane, but she knows she can't let this chance go missing, because there is plenty at stake if you beat the #1 contender. Take a look at this though by Sane, planting her into the mat. Cover made by Sane, and Storm kicking out right away there. Not able to get up to her feet, but does avoid the elbow drop, and I think that was unintentional in all honesty. Her evasion of the elbow drop there. Kairi Sane though will launch it again, and this time Toni Storm stays down. Kairi Sane going to set herself up on the top rope. Toni Storm going to get up to her feet and runs into the drop kick from Kairi Sane. And Sane now has Storm out on the apron. Something big could happen here. No, Sane just going to take it safe and bring it back in the ring. Here we go. Big time hefty kick in the back. Good stuff. Kairi Sane loading up and hitting big. Kick in the head there. That could have knocked Toni Storm out in all honesty with the power that we know Kairi Sane has in her kicks. This one keeps on going here. Storm, of course, is a tough fighter. So too is Kairi Sane. It is going to be so entertaining to see how far they have to go to finish the other one off. Of course, like I said, though, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Sane doesn't want this one going too far, because there's always that risk that you can pick up an injury heading into that match, and you find yourself on the back foot then of trying to become the #1 contender. Kairi Sane from behind. German suplex with a bridge, covering Storm, trying to finish this job as early as possible, and Toni Storm just serving to make life difficult for the #1 contender and the former NXT Women's Champion. Sane was champion for, I believe, that a part of near 7 months. Toni Storm now, hammerlock, Northern Light suplex there. Doesn't go for the cover after it. And that is why, because she's going right back on the offense. Ducks under, snap, German suplex. Sane taken for a heavy hit there. And Toni Storm could be setting up now the finale. The big move to try and end this. Kick in the chest there. Might have been looking for strong zero. If she was, Sane was able to muster up the counter with it there with that spinning heel kick. Very nicely done. Attacking the arm now. And a running drop kick is swathed away there by Toni Storm. Sane now sends her into the turnbuckle. Just launching her body at Toni Storm there. Storm goes down. Kairi Sane going to pull herself up to the top rope here. Okay, interesting. Kairi Sane. Oh, there it is. She got the elbow drop. She got it on her. And it's not enough to put away Toni Storm. Kairi Sane would have been wishing that that was enough to end it. Sadly, it was not. Duck under there of Toni Storm running at her. Storm able to counter. Disappointed that the insane elbow couldn't finish things. Toni Storm just too much of a fighter. And now Storm is fighting back here on the upper hand. And what a lariat there to Kairi Sane. My goodness. Almost took her head off with it. Gonna look to try and end it here. And Sane, the fighter that she is, able to get out of the count of one. Hefty knee in the back now. Toni Storm will be looking for more from this performance so far. Toni Storm now snap mid takedown, and I think Sane may have exhausted a lot of her options there by going with that insane elbow. I think she might have hurt herself quite a bit. Maybe not hurt herself, but maybe exhausted herself a little bit. She's in the hammerlock right now, and with a good elbow does get herself out of that hold as well. Running drop kick now. What more can Sane hit here? In the corner we go now. Toni Storm feeling the impact of that one. Kicked in the ribs as well. She perches her up high. This could be dangerous if Toni Storm can find a counter like she just did. Storm from up high. What a drop kick. The air on that one before she came down. Cover made by Storm after it, hoping that it's enough, and still, it's only good enough for a 1 count. The knee in the back will connect. She lifts her up to her feet here. This is where things are going to go haywire again. Snap German suplex, and maybe Kairi Sane is out of it. Maybe Kairi Sane doesn't have it in her, but Toni Storm doesn't right now. Oh, but Kairi Sane has it a little bit less after that kick in the ribs. Toni Storm, side headlock. I legit thought for a second there that the strong zero pile driver was on its way, but it most certainly was not. Side headlock. Kairi Sane forcing her off, but just has nothing left in her. And Toni Storm is feeling pretty confident about a victory here over the #1 contender. This could be where Kairi Sane finds herself in trouble heading into this title matchup. Storm is in. Strong zero from Storm. Kairi Sane's weight coming down on her neck. Toni Storm may well have finished it for Sane. Cover, 1, 2, and a kick out of 2 from Kairi Sane. Oh my. Big drop kick now from Storm, who maintains control here. Kairi Sane needs something. She needs to find something within her to fight back right now, because safe to say, Toni Storm, even after strong zero, is in the absolute driver's seat right now. Irish whip in the turnbuckle. Oh, no. Oh, this ain't going to do you any good. Perched up there. Has her. Oh, I think I know what you might be going for as well. German suplex from the top rope. Kairi Sane hits the mat hard. And the referee's hand may hit the mat for 3. No, it won't, because Sane kicks out at 2 again. And the referee and Toni Storm alike can't really believe it. Kairi Sane blocked the kick there. Blocked the kick, but a collision between the two women may very well allow Toni Storm back in this. Fisherman suplex. She got it. She doesn't bridge, though. Oh no, she's going to go for another German suplex. Kairi Sane could be done for. Snap German suplex as Sane kicks out right away. Sane kicks out instantaneously, but she can't get up to her feet. Oh man, I am rooting for Kairi Sane to get herself back in this one. Drop kick, grazed Storm. Definitely didn't down her fully, but Kairi Sane now, look at those elbows right in the back. Reverse DDT drives her into the mat as well. Sane could be right place, right time, and could be on her way to victory up on the top rope. Insane elbow, no! What an uppercut from Toni Storm. Will this do it? 1, 2, and no, it won't. How much does Toni Storm have to hit for Kairi Sane to stay down for the count of 3? The answer, it seems, is not enough. Look at Kairi Sane still fighting on here, kicking away at Toni Storm. What a main event this has been. She's lining herself up here. Spear by Sane. Look at that spear. Drilling Toni Storm down. But Sane, with the last bits of energy, forces herself to the top rope. This time, Insane elbow! 1, 2, 3. Kairi Sane overcame the odds and beats Toni Storm. What a main event. Oh my god, that was simply incredible. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. This ain't incredible. This is spoiling. A great ending to NXT. Tessa Blanchard saw the chance and she is jumping her opponent. Sane is weakened, Sane is hurt, and Blanchard is just gonna make it even worse. No, 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 come on. Kairi Sane has no fight left in her. Toni Storm is still down and out on the outside. Kairi Sane can't do anything. Double knees in the back there from Tessa Blanchard. She's out of it. She is out of it. And there's nothing that can be done here. Someone, please just try and stop this. Not only is this attack on Sane far too much, but this entirety as a whole. Trifecta, Kairi Sane they've been rivals since the start. And on the final NXT, will it be the battle to end their war? I wonder. We will find out then, but as for now, an otherwise great match spoiled by Trifecta. Typical.